Near the Amazon Delta, Captain Cousteau and pilot Bob Brownback set out to investigate a tract of jungle that could hold a key to Amazonia's future. Seemingly untouched, it offers a surprise. Over a forested ridge, the men see an industrial island locked away in the jungle. Beyond the smokestacks, only charred relics remain of a forest once rich in 400 tree species, now replanted with seedlings of only 3. The transformed forest below is part of what was, until recently, the largest piece of land in the world owned by a single man, a plot larger than the state of Connecticut. At its center, the biggest paper pulp plant of its kind in the world sprawls in jungle isolation, beyond the reach of any road. It is called Jari, the largest tropical forestry operation on Earth. Accompanied by Jari's directors, Cousteau inspects what some call a model for the Amazon's future. Here, nearly 5,000 tons of wood are consumed each day to produce 750 tons of paper pulp, eventually to become books, filters, tissues. Jari was created by American Daniel K. Ludwig, who bought the land in 1967, then spent approximately $1 billion developing it. Yet, abruptly, in 1982, he sold Jari.
One question comes to my mind that I don't know if you can answer it because it's very personal, but why the hell did Mr. Ludwig abandon this project? Because it seems a fabulous project. What happened to him?
For Daniel Ludwig, Jari had been a consuming passion for 15 years. He spent $250 million building the pulp plant and a power generator in Japan. Then, in 1978, floated them as barges all the way to the Amazon. Too large to fit through the Panama Canal, the 17-story plant was towed across 3 oceans. The project was unprecedented. After a visionary career that included the invention of the supertanker, Ludwig, then America's richest man, would carry a steel leviathan around the world to take on Earth's most forbidding jungle. The trip took 87 days, crossed 17,000 miles, from an industrial center equipped with every tool known to man, across the planet to a virgin jungle where neither workers nor materials existed to fashion such a factory. It was the largest thing ever to sail the Amazon. To people of the jungle, it looked like an entire city coming up the river. When the plant arrived, Ludwig expected to open Amazonia as a world paper source. Yet, as Calypso arrives, the success or failure of Jari is still debated. The ship docks at a plant now owned by a consortium of Brazilian companies, which look for the profits Ludwig never found. His grand plan had met serious problems. The thin jungle soil was compacted by his heavy machinery. Ludwig experimented with machines and tree varieties, but the government chose not to build a hydroelectric dam on Jari property. Ludwig had to use a substantial portion of his plantation and the cleared native trees merely to fuel his plant. Finally, when promised land titles were withheld, he gave up, losing perhaps $750 million on his dream.
Before me, a symbol of human audacity rises. The luxurious forest, once prowled by jaguars and draped in orchids, dries in the sun, ground into a lifeless mountain of wood chips. The fragrance of the woods drifts away in the wind. The storm of flakes carries away the land's vitality. Nutrients locked in the jungle trees, not in its soil. To help assess Jari's future, Dr. Howard Odum, a renowned ecologist studying world energy systems, joins us. Amazonia's prodigious trees feed upon themselves, quickly recirculating their chemistry of life, from dead leaf to root to limb to leaf. The forest remains rich, the soil below poor. What logging saws clear away is the ancient fertility of the jungle. Gradually, an opulence of species evolved since prehistoric times gives way to a vastly simplified forest for profit.
It's about 35 meters.
35 meters.
Watch for snakes. Well, that's some of the sun leaves. Notice how curled they are and smaller, thicker. And they have, most of the photosynthesis is done up on top in these guys.
In the thin soil beneath the native jungle, we see the intricate mat of roots that sustains rainforest luxuriance.
That's what makes the nutrients go round and round. Why it does so well. You pour radioisotopes on top, and it doesn't come through. It goes right back up the tree. So, there's more of this in the Amazon than there are in other lowland forests. Look at all those roots. Pretty stuff, isn't it? See here? So, when that's gone, the nutrients gone.
Questions abound. Will Jari's orderly new forests flourish? Or will the soil be exhausted in a few years, needing costly fertilizers? Should Jari, its success unproven, be copied elsewhere in the Amazon?
One of the reasons this project is so fascinating is that the world talks about what would happen if we were running on total solar energy. And you're actually almost doing it here. And one of the toughest questions is, can a plant like this run if the virgin forest wood they're using to heat the plant with runs out? It's a good, tough question. They'll have to bring in something else, coal or oil, if the... see the heat.
They had a wonderful project of making a dam on the Jari River to get natural power.
Jari's fate may hinge on the river crossing it. The surging waters, if dammed by a now reluctant government, could power Jari's plant, perhaps ensure success. Where power lines lead, industry can follow. The vines of electricity strung through jungles south of Belém are a sign of impending change, of the energy potential from Amazon waters. To generate power and open up Amazonia, Brazil now erects on the Tocantins River the fourth largest dam in the world. As Richard Murphy and scientist Mark Brown watch, the Tucuruí Dam nears completion, soon to create enough power for scores of factories. Damming Amazon tributaries, Brazil dreams of becoming the Saudi Arabia of hydropower, bringing a flood of people to the jungle, encouraging fortune hunters to scour the lands hidden beneath the Amazon's elaborate blanket of life. Already, a lode of extraordinary mineral riches has been found south of Tucuruí. The Carajás mining complex is a mountain of nearly pure iron, contains 7% of all Earth's iron ore, mixed with a dozen other valuable minerals. Some Brazilian planners foresee the expanding project spawning Pittsburghs in the jungle.
If we hold this production, 35 million tons a year, it will, to finish with all this deposit, to take all this iron ore over, it will take more than 400 years.
Hungry for resources, armed this time with massive tools, the human engineer again takes on the jungle. Miners, foresters, dispossessed families stream inexorably into the last great frontier. Will ancient forests prevail or smokestacks? For Cousteau, scientists Odom and Brown make a century-long computer forecast using present trends. Growth surges as highways arrive. Cities radiate into jungle. Soon, nearly half of Amazonia is developed. Yet then, the scientists expect, growth will peak as resources reach limits. Well-managed forests could survive. In a world of disappearing fossil fuels, an unspoiled Amazon could be the next century's paradise of solar energy.